Hi,
Hi.
this is Trish and Sherri, and you are watching Found with Trish and Sherri, the podcast. Maybe you're listening to it. And on this episode, we're going to introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about why we decided to do this podcast. For years, Trish and I have been sharing stories and experiences, and now we're excited to invite you to join in on the conversation.
And I would like to introduce Sherri Craig Evans. She is my bestie since we were 2 years old, and we are both adopted, came from the same small town in North Florida, and have spent our entire lives talking to each other and pretty much only each other about all the feelings and thoughts we had about being adopted. She is a wonderful mom of 4. She is a music teacher and musician, a high school music teacher and musician, so she's super brave. She is funny. She is creative. She is a little bit sarcastic. I'll give you a little bit of a warning. And she definitely stands up for things she believes in, which is why I am very, very proud to have written a book with her and to be doing this podcast.
And this is my friend Trish. And as she said, we've been friends since we were 2 years old. And Trish is so talented. Trish is an award-winning designer, writer, author, creative director, and artist. In fact, we took art classes together in high school years ago. Trish has experience in the corporate, television, and web arenas, and she co-authored 4 adoption-related books. One of us we did together, one of those books, and 3 with her other writing partner, Kat Lamons. An adopted person, an adopted mother, she lives with her husband and daughter in North Florida. So, Trish, would you take a minute and kind of explain what it is we're going to be doing with this podcast?
Sure. One of the things that we thought when we were doing the book, we actually found all of our birth parents through using DNA, search angels, online tools, all that kind of thing, was that there really wasn't a lot out there that dealt with how things work now. There was a lot of stuff that we found that was, oh, everything's beautiful. We hit reunion and everything is fabulous. Oh, everybody's in love. It's great. And there wasn't a whole lot out there about what the process is that we found about the modern process of going through the DNA and finding all the different things and having different outcomes and that type of thing. And while they tell you to be ready for anything, that's impossible. And one of the things that when we did our search, we kept trying to talk to our husbands about it. And we have wonderful husbands. Don't think anything bad about that, but they didn't really understand what we were going through. And both our husbands would say, oh, talk to Trish, talk to Sherri, she'll understand what you're going through. And one of the things that we thought was by doing the book and doing the podcast is we could not only talk about the new things that are available in adoption search, but how important it is to have somebody that's supportive, whether they're adoptive or not. But it was really helpful for us to have somebody who was adopted who could kind of understand some of the very unusual and weird feelings that come with it. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of sometimes craziness. There's disappointment. There's joy, all types of things. And seeing what ours was like and what we dealt with, we also wanted to have a podcast because we also found that lots of people had decided to search because they heard we were searching and people that we knew. And then other people found us online through the same method of searching that we had used to find other people and thought that was really interesting how it just kind of seemed to snowball. So all that being said, we wanted to open it up so that anybody who's looking or searching for DNA or who has been found or is involved with somebody who is adopted and has these issues might get a better insight into what the feelings are, what the process is, and find this as a place to where they can share their story or listen to other people's stories and see what resonates with them.
Right. And we've learned also through these last several years that all of the stories are not necessarily adoption related. After I did my ancestry kit and I talked my husband into doing one, even though he wasn't adopted, he had a surprise show up in his DNA. Adoption wasn't part of the story, but you'll hear in a future episode how that unfolded. And so we're excited to share these with you. We're excited to have you contact us. I'll tell you how in a minute. Maybe you could be part of an upcoming episode with your DNA reunion stories and adoption stories. And so we're excited to kick off this podcast. And this is like our little intro episode. So thank you for joining us in on this very first intro episode of Found with Sherri and Tris, the podcast. Please like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you have a related story you'd like to share with us, please send us an email at foundwithtrishandsherri@gmail.com. If you'd like to know more about the story that inspired this podcast, check out our book, Found: Adopted Friends Search for Their Birth Families, which is available on Amazon. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So until next time.